comes.
I'm ready to die. Every word you say feels like a dream.
Hi, sweetie. Look at him go.
You turn my life into a sparkling
He
stream.
likes you, Jim.
Yes, he does. Ooh, he's checking everywhere.
Even shadows dance when you're around. In your laughter, I finally found. Oh, the stars, they write our story above.
He's yours, champ. Pick him up.
Something don't seem right about the creator of Call of Duty losing his life in that car accident. That man has driven that car at the same speed on that same highway in the same place thousands of times. And that just happened there? Y'all gotta remember who Vince Sabella is, who shows through his Call of Duty games how to arm yourself, how to protect yourself, and how to do what these people don't want you to do. And now he's gone. I looked at this video 1,000 times. Now, to the eye, you can see what's going on. But the third eye is reading something totally different. Think about this. We just saw a video where it's proof that they said that they can hack into your car and control your car. Let me say that to you again. They said that it is possible to hack into your car and control your car. All cars are ran by computers right now. It is possible. So with knowing that, I need you to go back and watch that video again and tell me what you think. Also, I just made a video about Call of Duty, telling you about the things that were going on in that game, not even 2 weeks ago. And now this man has lost his life in a freak accident. I need you to look at this thing one more time. Look at that. What happened to him was tragic. It might be how the chips fell in life, and then it might be Call of Duty. We'll never know. I'm out.
A lot of people are claiming that something is off with the crash that took the life of the creator of Call of Duty. And why are they saying that? Because evidently he's driven that car on the same road thousands of times. And that type of tragedy occurred in a place that he's very familiar with. And if you're unfamiliar with who Vince Sabella is, that's him right there. May he rest in peace. Many know him and many enjoy playing all of his Call of Duty games. Like many, I've reviewed this video multiple times, and it's just tragic to watch it even over and over again. I do not recommend you watching it. And some, even if you want to jump down that rabbit hole, have allegedly claimed that there are videos out there that show that vehicles can be controlled by computer, and that someone may have allegedly taken his vehicle into that wall. And also, there are also many claiming about the video game Call of Duty and what people claim that they have found while playing the game. Go and do your research on that as well. And after hearing all that, this gentleman lost his life tragically in that horrific accident. Take a look at this clip one more time. And from all of the speculation that's floating around out there about this horrific situation, this tragic situation, hopefully that's all it was, and it wasn't anything else. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Here's what happened in the U.S. over the last 12 hours in 60 seconds. U.S. climate scientists say federal staffing and funding cuts have delayed research cruises and slowed data collection at agencies like NOAA. They warn the disruptions could leave major gaps in climate and extreme weather records. A federal judge ordered DHS to restore Homeland Security Grant Program money to 11 Democratic-led states in Washington, D.C., after the Trump administration tried to reallocate the funds. The agency says it will appeal. A new analysis warns Republican-led redistricting plans could backfire as some urban and immigrant-heavy areas have swung back toward Democrats in recent elections. The shifts could complicate GOP efforts to lock in House seats. Illinois will require firearms to be locked up when a minor is in the home under a law taking effect in 2026. Violations can bring liability, and fines go to the Mental Health Fund. Former Colorado elections clerk Tina Peters asked a state appeals court to recognize President Donald Trump's pardon and release her from prison. The state argues a presidential pardon can't erase state convictions. The Pentagon's Caribbean deployment, including an aircraft carrier, is drawing scrutiny in Congress over its cost and mission. Officials say the force supports operations aimed at trafficking and Venezuela sanctions enforcement. 19 states and Washington, D.C. sued HHS and Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in Oregon over a declaration on youth gender-affirming care. They're asking a judge to block the policy.
You know what's crazy? I couldn't wait to get a job. Now I don't want to go to work. Ain't that some dumb the fuck? Because it's not natural. It's not natural. But you meet it. You realize it's this coral that is fucking with me. It has always fucked with me. I was just always able to call a spade a spade. You know, a lot of people that are working right now will complain about working. Let them stop working, and then bills start coming up, and watch how eager they wish they were working. It's fucking a mind fuck. And when you look at the world and how many things track like that, it is synonymous to a lot of things. Peace of the gods. I gotta record 3 more seconds. Bye.
Mermaids are real. I told you a few days ago, I'm back to prove it. We'll come right back to that video of that mermaid that you just saw. So we have no doubt had mermaids all throughout our history. But remember when the fallen angels came down and mated with the women? And there were genetic hybrids all over the earth? So much to the point that God flooded it? Look at this right behind me. Why are these people wearing fish suits? You too? It's because it's Dagon, a fish mermaid god. And they would all wear fishes out forms for the god. That really existed. Think Little Mermaid. Now, here's Dagon, the fish god, and there's the Vatican hat. Guess what? Same thing. And deep into Egyptian lore, it talks about the fish people coming out of the water and beating the Egyptians in a battle. Now, there's many kinds of mermaids. You know they're all documented? See its head? See its head? Dagon? Fish people. Exactly like this weird creature that popped up on the internet swimming through the ocean. And now back to this weird freaking thing. Take a good look at it. Can you spot it? Here you go. Mermaids were real and they are real because they won't die in a flood.
A lot of people are claiming that something is off with the crash that took the life of the creator of Call of Duty. And why are they saying that? Because evidently he's driven that car on the same road thousands of times. And that type of tragedy occurred in a place that he's very familiar with. And if you're unfamiliar with who Vince Sapiller is, that's him right there. May he rest in peace. Many know him and many enjoy playing all of his Call of Duty games. Like many, I've reviewed this video multiple times, and it's just tragic to watch it even over and over again. I do not recommend you watching it. And some, even if you want to jump down that rabbit hole, have allegedly claimed that there are videos out there that show that vehicles can be controlled by computer, and that someone may have allegedly taken his vehicle into that wall. And also, there are also many claiming about the video game Call of Duty and what people claim that they have found while playing the game. Go and do your research on that as well. And after hearing all that, this gentleman lost his life tragically in that horrific accident. Take a look at this clip one more time. And from all of the speculation that's floating around out there about this horrific situation, this tragic situation, hopefully that's all it was, and it wasn't anything else. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Okay, this is a bit creepy. I've experienced this so many times, but I didn't really see it clearly until I found a group of people online all talking about the same thing. It's not just your phone listens to you anymore. That part is old news. You know, you talk about shoes, then boom, shoes show up. We all accepted that. Fine. But this is different. This is quieter, darker. People are saying their phones respond to thoughts, not words, thoughts. You think about something random, an object you've never searched, never typed, never said out loud. Then hours later, there it is. An ad, a video, a post, like your mind left fingerprints somewhere it shouldn't have. And it's not just new stuff. Someone walks into a house, sees an old German antique, thinks nothing more than, interesting, and suddenly that exact item floods their feed. Explain that without sounding insane. You can't. Here's where it gets worse. Some people claim when they think about doing something bad, not doing it, just thinking, it triggers responses. Warnings, wellness checks, messages, in some cases, visits, as if the thought itself crossed a line. So ask yourself this. If a phone can predict desire, fear, impulse, what happens when prediction turns into judgment? They told us it was for convenience, for safety, for personalization. But when a device reacts to your inner voice, that's not technology anymore. That's surveillance of the mind. And once that line is crossed, there's no off switch. You don't need to say a word anymore. You just need to think.
This is just a theory, not a fact.
Are hitmen real? Yes. At the National Security Council, there is a committee that meets every Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock to draw up something called the kill list. They sit around a table and they make a list of all the people that they want to kill that week. And then they take it back to the CIA, which has a dedicated unit. I won't tell you the name, but it has a dedicated unit that takes receipt of the list. They say, okay, number one. They drive to the airport, they get on the plane, they go out to that country, they kill the person, they come back, and then they go to number 2 on the list. That happens every single week. Now, we can have a conversation about whether that's right or whether it's wrong. It's certainly immoral. It's illegal, but it's been tasked by the president. At the same time, they will tell you there hasn't been another 9/11, has there? Maybe it's because we're out there killing people.
What kind of people would be on that list?
Oh, the most dangerous terrorists in the world. Or at least people that the CIA deems to be the most dangerous terrorists in the world.
After France's liberation in World War II, these women had their heads shaved and clothes torn. Swastikas were drawn on their foreheads with lipstick or ink. What were they accused of? Official documents described it as improper relations with enemy forces during the occupation. Some women had simply served meals or done chores for German soldiers. Others worked as translators for the occupying army. In some cases, accusations stemmed from neighborhood dispute. After the war, France needed symbolic culprit. Men who had been unable to resist the Germans now emerged, directing their anger toward women. A nationwide ritual of public shaming began. Barbers took razors and shaved their heads in front of crowds. Onlookers gathered, some spitting on them, others throwing stones or tearing their clothes. In Lyon, a teacher named Suzanne was stripped and paraded through the streets after teaching French to German soldiers. In Bordeaux, 12 women accused of dancing with Germans had their hair burned and the ashes rubbed on their faces. French archives record over 20,000 women subjected to these humiliations. This was not justice but revenge. Historians later called it frantic purification, not a legal process, but emotional outbursts without trials or evidence. Those who stayed silent during the war now sought to become heroes afterward. These women became convenient symbols, a way to wash away shame.
The United States crypto reserve coin is not moving like a regular coin, and people are not connecting the dots. It's already showed its hand once by moving to 23 cents before people even knowing what it was, and now it's making a big comeback of Q1 of 2026. Everybody is talking about January 27th because January 27th is when the stablecoin application go live for the United States crypto reserve coin. And on top of that, USCR just endorsed Donald Trump's stablecoin. And Donald Trump has already said he's going to be working on the United States crypto reserve. Remember, Donald Trump just wants America to be #1 in crypto, and I can agree with him because there's a lot of money to be made. And with all the debt that America has accumulated, Eric Trump has already stated that the only thing that can save America is stablecoins. If the United States crypto reserve hits $1 like everybody is betting it's going to, a $5,000 investment is going to make $500,000, y'all. And that's not far-fetched because this thing hit 23 cents again. Who said it's not going to do it and go above and beyond? That's why everybody is looking at USCR as a 2026 anchor hold, not a one flip dip. This is honestly one of the best projects I have ever been on. This is not financial advice, y'all. I'm only showing y'all how I shift and I maneuver through this matrix. If you're trying to check out this play before January 27th, I recommend you get a Phantom wallet, search up the United States Crypto Reserve. It should be the first one that come up. Double check the contract address. It'll be pinned in the comments, and do your own research. Join my Telegram group and my Instagram link in the bio where I give real-time plays and calls. The digital wave is here. Let's catch it, y'all. Peace in.
Okay, what the fuck is going on? Like, what America do we live in right now? So you're telling me that the guy who is almost the vice president of these United States hired his buddy to do the hit on his own Democratic members? Bro, so according to the FBI, Vance Luther Bolter, the hitman who took out the Democratic lady who voted to block the bill or voted against the bill that was going to grant free health care to illegals in Minnesota. That same guy who took her and her husband out and went and put more rounds on another member of that party and his wife just wrote a letter to the FBI saying that Tampon Timmy Walls hired him.
Hey, Erica, what about the guys you dated before Charlie?
I was here for 5 years. I never dated here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was.
You were proposed to by Charlie in 2020. You started dating him in 2018. And 3 years before that, you were dating this guy, Tyler Massey. I mean, you guys would do couples photo shoots. This is still online. And this is only 3 years before you started dating Charlie.
He's in heaven.
Yeah, and 2 years later, you were dating this guy, Cabot Phillips, and here he is posting you guys on his public page saying, yes, we're that couple who gets painting lessons together. Again, this is a year before you started dating Charlie, and well within the 5-year period you claim to have never dated anyone, but you were out here dissing your roommate for dating.
I always thought it was very strange how she would go to drinks with one guy and then go to dinner with another. Somehow getting drinks was the replacement of having coffee and breakfast. I personally would rather have coffee or brunch with someone than go. I don't drink. I find it unproductive.
And why are you here drinking and dating on a reality show that actually was filmed the year you met Charlie? So you obviously were dating. So I'm not understanding your timeline. I mean, you're talking to a guy here who's asking you out on a date and you're taking his number? And here you are on your date.
I've honestly spent the majority of my life being one of the most sought-after bachelors. It's great. But I'm just really excited to spend some one-on-one time with Erica. I really do like her, and I'm excited to get to know her a little bit more.
Erica? Hello? I just want to understand how you so confidently lied to our faces when this footage was on national television, and you know the footage is out there. The pictures of your boyfriends that you dated are still public online, and you know that, but you still lie like this.
Stop.
Wait, isn't Cabot Phillips your ex-boyfriend? Why is he now the speaker of Turning Point USA? Leading speeches of how to lead like Charlie. What's going on, Erica?
Stop.
He's also the senior editor for the Daily Wire, the one outlet that your husband was having active beef with at the time, connected to Netanyahu. So
stop.
Right. So what else are you lying about? Because you're a liar. Point blank period. You are a liar. And we just proved that. So this is still publicly accessible on social media. And you lied about that. You also lied about dating, but you were on a reality show dating the same year you met Jesse. You know what I mean? What else are you lying about? Like bigger things? Are you lying about bigger things? Because this is small and you really easily, with like a straight face, you lie. So like, what, Because sure.
Stop.
If you live in the state of California, these new laws that just passed apply to you. The state of California minimum wage is $16.90. And if you live in San Francisco, that minimum wage is $19.18 now. Effective this new year, landlords will now be required to provide a stove and a fridge according to AB 628. If you are an Uber or a Lyft driver, you can now unionize according to AB 1340. And for those of you that deliver food and receive tips, tips can no longer offset your delivery drive base pay. Come 2026, plastic bags are now banned, paper bags only, according to SB 1053. If you are a cat owner, cat declawing is officially banned in the state of California, according to AB 867. Now restaurants are going to be required to show a list of allergens on their menus according to SB 68. Food labels are no longer going to be required to have sell-by dates. This next law affects law enforcement officers or personnel. Law enforcement face coverings are now banned in the state of California, according to SB 627. And for every single one of you that loves using AI chatbots, now AI chatbots must tell you that they are not human, according to SB 243. And lastly, no rent will be owed during mandatory evacuations, according to SB 610. If any of these new laws surprised you, let me know in the comment section below.
If you ever feel like you're being followed in Japan, visit one of these stores because it might just save your life. You see, in the early 2000s, Japan witnessed a concerning rise in violent crime. And after a number of high-profile cases involving women being stalked and children attacked on the way to school, Japanese authorities tried something crazy. They realized that these convenience stores are everywhere here, and they often even outnumber police stations and boxes. They're also bright, full of cameras, open 24/7, and they always have at least one member of staff on duty. So in 2005, they launched an official nationwide crime prevention partnership with these stores. From that day on, they would act as a safe station for women, children, or anyone who feels like they're in danger. And in just 1 year after launching, the results were staggering. More than 13,000 women took refuge in a convenience store. Around 6,000 lost children found help here, and about 12,000 elderly people were reunited with loved ones after wandering away from home. And now, over a decade later, more than 50,000 stores participate as safety stations, including 7-Eleven, Family Mart, Lawson's, and that covers a staggering 99% of stores nationwide. So make sure to share this video with someone visiting Japan because who knows, it might just save their life.
This is Trump, around 6 years old, standing next to his first grade teacher. And here he is at 11 years old on vacation. Now, between here and here at 8 years old, it's reported that Donnie Boy became a millionaire thanks to gifts from his daddy. Then, in 1968, after graduating college, his daddy gave Donnie his first job and reportedly paid him around $1 million a year. And as you probably know, his daddy ultimately gave Donnie $403 million. Anyway, now that America has an affordability crisis, by the way, this is a food line in Oregon, and the Trump crime family is literally making billions of dollars from blatant, unprecedented corruption. And he's demanding that we pay him $230 million from our tax dollars. It should be noted that there's no evidence that Trump has ever shopped for groceries for himself. And he hasn't flown commercial in decades. By the way, I love that this says rump. And he's gotten years of free health care at our expense. So why should anyone believe he even understands what it's like to need a job, pay for skyrocketing health insurance or medical bills, or even buy eggs? It's said that to whom much is given, much is expected. But it sure appears that Trump expects more and more while we get less and less. Do you agree?
I got some bad news for you. So instead of class, I'm actually getting arrested right now. What? Yep, I was trying to meet with an underage female.
What the hell?
Yeah, yeah, that's a decision I've never made, and a decision I got Chris Hansen standing in front of me with cameras and microphones standing all around me.
Where are you at?
I'm in Moorpaw. I'm like 45, 50 minutes away.
How old is the girl?
15.
Brandon, that's illegal.
I know. And I knew it was illegal coming over here. I had a bad vibe and everything, and I even said that over text, and I still pulled up. I knew when I pulled up in the driveway and I seen her, I knew I was kind of cooked.
Please tell me you're kidding.
No, Mom, I'm not. My life is actually ruined.
You're kidding.
Nope, my life is ruined. I love you. I'm sorry. Please come get me. You know me, Mom.
Right.
I love you.
All right, Mom. He's going to call you back whenever he gets to the jail, okay? Yes, sir. Thank you.
I'm not trying to escape. I just like to walk in circles.
Okay guys, last night, finally, some actual big revelations came from the latest dump of Epstein files. So here are the 4 main things that you need to know about, and get locked in, because this one's kind of wild. First key takeaway, holy shit, we actually got emails between FBI personnel mentioning 10 possible co-conspirators of Epstein. And that's actually a huge development, because up until now, the official narrative from the Department of Justice has always been there's no one else. There's Epstein, there's Maxwell. In fact, earlier just this year, Kash Patel testified under oath that there was no credible information that Epstein trafficked young women to anyone else other than himself. In fact, it got to the point where the majority of these 10 co-conspirators were served with subpoenas by the FBI. Frustratingly though, a lot of these names were actually redacted, which also raises a lot of questions, because we were told that all of these redactions were supposed to protect victims, not the alleged co-conspirators. Now, why the FBI stopped pursuing these people like they were doing in 2019 is unknown. Second key takeaway is that Trump is actually mentioned a lot in these files that dropped last night, unlike the first batch. Now, to be clear, there are a number of documents from these files which mention Trump that are either tips or just unproven allegations, but also pieces that are verifiably false, and we'll get into that in a second. But one of the most credible things so far is that in a 2020 email, a federal prosecutor spoke about receiving new flight records showing that Trump had traveled on Epstein's jet many more times than even they were previously aware of. Again, still no smoking gun, but jeez, it's starting to get dicey now. Third is that there was a wild email in these files from someone who described themselves only as Invisible Man and just the letter A. And they were asking Ghislaine Maxwell if she had found any new inappropriate friends for them yet. And we know that this person has got to be pretty important, because they were at a summer camp at the time of sending this email for the royal family. Yeah. And then the fourth and last key takeaway is the pretty strange behavior of how the Department of Justice is actually releasing these files. Firstly, they broke the law by releasing these in multiple batches and not just all at once. Secondly, they heavily redacted a lot of questionable information. They've poorly redacted a lot of these pages, and people are literally getting around the redactions now by simply copying and then pasting the text into their notes and seeing what's underneath those bars. And then, most bizarrely, especially from last night, they're including files that are verifiably fake. For example, there was this letter that was purportedly sent by Epstein to Larry Nassar, and there's a whole thing going into there, as well as a fake video showing Epstein in his prison cell. Both of them, they say, are fake. And so that really starts to raise questions about why or how these were allowed to be included if even they are saying that they are fake. What do you guys think? Are we getting closer, or is it just, again, more fluff?
What is your perspective on something like TikTok? Do you think TikToks was started as a tool to spy?
I don't believe TikTok individually was started as a tool to spy. I believe that what happened is TikTok became wildly popular, and the government in China realized, hey, everything in China belongs to the government anyways. Yep. We can step in and take advantage of this. That is also a way that CIA and MI6 do business as well. When a company does very well and there's an intelligence benefit, they will approach the company. In a democracy, they can't force the company to cooperate, but in a country like China, they can.
So do you think the social networks, a lot of the big social networks, have been approached by the CIA or the MI6 and asked to give information to them?
I would go a step further and say that they've all been approached, and that the vast majority of them cooperate.
Is that a concern for the average person?
Not for the for the average person, that's a benefit.
The average person is not being targeted, I promise you. Like, there's zero interest. And for the federal government and for the intelligence community, there's absolutely zero interest in the average person.
The person who's cheating on their spouse or avoiding $5,000 in taxes or who isn't paying their parking bills. Nobody cares. The federal government doesn't care about that.
Well, you were doing some of that targeting, right?
Right.
So did you ever work with any existing company to give you information?
So all of my data, depending on what country I was working on, had different sources. And some countries had more sources than others, but they're all sources I can't disclose. But there's tons and tons of data that would come into me. And then I worked on a number of cases where I had to get FISA requests.
What's a FISA request?
A FISA request is when you want to collect information or take information from somebody who is an American citizen. And I just want to remind people that American citizen, most people who complain about, oh, they're targeting American citizens, are thinking about themselves.
Yeah.
They're looking at themselves in the mirror and thinking, oh, they're targeting American citizens. They're not thinking about the Chinese person who just came over and naturalized. They're not thinking about the, Iranian who's been here for a long time and naturalized, right? Like all of those, they're not thinking about,
the Al-Qaeda member
Yeah.
who claimed to be a refugee to get here to get some sort of green card.
Right. So American citizenship, a lot of people have that. And some of those people are doing bad things. And some of those people are our adversaries who have infiltrated the United States and are here to gather intelligence to give to our adversaries, or are here to do bad things within the country. And so we have to get FISA requests to get the data on them.
And what does that mean in reality, a FISA request? Does that mean that you can go into their phone?
It means that you have proven a link from that person to something bad. And you've given the court enough evidence to say, hey, look, this person's doing something bad and we need to gather more data on them. So it just opens the kind of data that you can get on that person.
And what kind of data is that?
Hey, you can get on their phone. You can get into their computer. You can get into their private Google accounts. You can get into their private Apple accounts.
Any
you can
kind
get
of data you can get access to. You can now use it to target them.
So you could get access to their private Google accounts, their private Apple accounts without their passwords.
You would hack their passwords or steal their passwords, or Google retains their passwords.
And Google would give you the password.
For most cases, if it comes down to national security, American companies will share details. And that's what a FISA request does, is it's a judicial claim. It's a judicial warrant, essentially, to say you will let this service onto that person's account.
Mm-hmm.
You guys must think that people like me live in a certain state of naivety and ignorance as to what's actually going on.
I wouldn't say it's ignorance or naivety. I would say that it's conditioned into you. You're conditioned to believe that you have privacy.
So the reality that we should realize is that we don't have privacy.
It's not real.
Privacy is not real.
No. I mean, there's a level. Like
when you get undressed in a dark room, like that's yours.
Usually, no one's watching.
There's a good chance that you're not being watched by the federal government. If you're getting...
That's a good chance.
But, if you're sending, dirty emails to your girlfriend, that's essentially, it's private on the surface, but not really forever private. Somebody could access those. If you write her dirty notes, that's way more private.
Especially if she throws them away or burns them.
Or burns them. Like I think people put too much confidence in technology and feel too confident in the privacy of technology, because technology, there's really nothing private about it. To an extent, yes. But if you think that nobody can ever look at your stuff, that's wrong.
Do you think the CIA knew you were coming here today?
I think the CIA knew we were coming on Diary of a CEO, and I think they knew that we were going to talk to you about our book.
How do you think they knew that?
Because we know that CIA, as well as other intelligence services, as an example, the United Arab Emirates, we know that they have a dedicated person that sits in their office that watches us.
So how would they know you were coming here today?
Our emails, our emails, our publishers' emails, our own text messages back and forth, listening in on phone calls, any number of things could have happened. We've tried to have a very collaborative relationship with CIA about this book, because we know how scared they are. We know how nervous this book makes them. So we're trying to be extra collaborative to give them peace of mind, like, hey, we're not about to go out there and tell the world that you're a bunch of animals and terrible anything. They've actually read the book multiple times, and still they're afraid that we're going to somehow make them look bad, because so many of their officers have come out to become authors who make CIA look bad.
There was a couple of other things that, we are going to get back to the arcade and what happened next, but there's a couple of other things that sprung to mind when you talked about how people can make real businesses, fake businesses, have various different covers. The next one was, you mentioned Edward Snowden earlier. And in mentioning Edward Snowden, you used him as an example of someone who returns to the country that they were working for the whole time.
So with Snowden, and the Snowden case in specific, right? Whenever somebody flees their own home country, nobody gives them protection for free. Even in the United States, we don't give anybody protection for free. You have to earn it. You have to share some sort of currency. And that currency may not be cash dollars, that currency might be information. So when Snowden leaked to The Guardian the operations at NSA that were collecting against American citizens, the same American citizens that Jihi was just talking about, right? Nobody cares about Joe Bob. Everybody cares about, the person who's pretending to be an American citizen but is in fact a terrorist threat. When Snowden made his escape, when he fled the United States, he was essentially trading classified information, not just the details of the NSA case that he whistleblew, but other confidential information that he collected specifically as currency to help him basically pay his way through Hong Kong and into China, or into Russia.
And so he lives in Russia now?
He's a Russian citizen. I'm pretty sure he's also received a Russian award for heroism.
And you think he gave secrets to Russia about the United States to get that?
I can almost guarantee you, yeah. What he gave, I don't know. But Russia wouldn't give him that status unless he had given them something in return.
And the other one...
Can I help you?
Hey, one man, this is the police.
Okay.
Can you come to the door?
I'm not home right now.
Is anybody home right now?
No. What's going on?
There's 2 cars in the driveway. You mean to tell me there's nobody home?
No, there's no one home. Why do you have a mask on?
It's cold out here, man.
Sir? Why do you have a mask on?
Can you come to the
Burlington
door?
Township police don't wear masks.
Sorry?
Burlington Township police don't have masks.
We are not Burlington County Police, man. We're federal agents. We need to talk to the door.
I'm not at the door. I am not at the door. I'm out of town. I had a family death.
Is here?
No, he's not.
Okay, where is he?
Really? So you're just so you know, you're knocking on a door of a U.S. citizen where my great-grandfather was in World War I.
His mother?
Excuse me?
Oh, his mother was in World War I.
No, not my mother. I'm a U.S. citizen, born and raised in New Jersey. Thank you very much. So you have the wrong house. I am out of town.
Where's
my house?
You just say it was in Philly.
Philly?
That's what you just said.
Excuse me? I'm not home.
Question.
I'm out of town. We had a death in the family. We had a death in the family. Do not, you know.
So who's home?
I'm gonna call the Burlington Township Police. We are not
That's
home.
completely fine.
Okay, we are not home. I am out of. If you want, I can send you a picture that I'm out of town.
You don't need to send anything. We're not saying that you're not home. You already said you're not home. We get it. Who's home? Somebody's here. There's 2 cars in the driveway.
No one's home. We had a family.
Live here? Does live here or not?
He does not
Do
live
you know
here.
who he is?
Excuse me?
Do you know who is?
No.
Oh, okay. So okay.
Have a good day. Excuse me, that's my door, and that's an expensive door. Babe, oh my God. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna have my neighbor. Guys, that is my expensive door.
You also have the lights on. You gotta pay for that too, I guess, while you're gone.
My what? Wait, oh my God. Excuse me, I'm gonna call my parents because you guys, like, what are you doing? Do you have a warrant? Can I see your warrant that's signed by a judge for you to be coming and knocking on my door like that? Can you show me the warrant, please?
You're not.
Excuse me, that's my house. That's my house.
All right, well, tell somebody to come outside.
There's no one there. We are out of town. We had a death in the family.
Why'd you leave the lights on?
If you break my door, I'm telling you right now, we're gonna have it. Maybe just call the police. Call the police. I'm calling. Like, this is out of control. We are not home. We had a death in the family.
Who lives here?
Okay.
Who else lives here? Who's we? You and who else? Who lives
My
here? Who lives at
husband
this
and I.
address?
My
Okay,
husband
so
and
nobody,
I.
nobody
And my
else lives
daughter.
here. Nobody else
My
lives here.
daughter.
Okay, and it's just you three that it's just you three, and you
Correct.
both are at home.
That is correct. That is correct.
Whose cars are these in the driveway?
That's my husband's car and my car, but we were taken to the
Okay, so
airport
what's her
because
name?
we had a death
What's her
in the
name?
family. We had a death
What's
in
her
the
name?
family. We are out of town.
Ma'am, what's your name? What's your last name?
My last name is and my husband is and my daughter.
Okay, so who's he has your same last name. Who is
We don't know.
okay,
We need to see a warrant.
You know exactly who he is.
Let me tell you something right now. Get out of my house or we're going to have a problem. You don't have no warrant. You got to stop talking. You don't have no warrant.
What problem are we possibly going to have? What problem are we possibly going to have? What problem are we going to have?
You're harassing my household without a warrant.
Huh?
You don't have a warrant, honey. I'm a U.S. citizen. I know my rights of my home. They just call right now. Call the
Yeah, we'll be back. What would you be home, man? When you coming back?
I'm coming back next week, and but before you come to my thing, you're gonna have to show me a warrant with a thing signed. Because, honey, let me tell you something. I'm a USA citizen, and you guys are demons, sellouts, Hispanics and blacks harassing. Babe, are you kidding me? What about was there? Baby, I can't take this, babe. What are they doing?
So this entitled YouTuber is so mad about being a virgin that he's about to do something completely insane. So the YouTuber's name is Elliot, and Elliot is 19 years old when this story starts, and he's living in California, and Elliot has a problem. He can't get laid, like ever, and he's becoming obsessed with losing his virginity. So he goes to college, hoping to meet some nice girls in some of his classes. But when they don't give him the attention he wants, he gets super mad and he drops those classes. In fact, by 2011, he's dropped out of 2 different colleges over this. And of course, at this point, his parents are like, well, time to get a job. But Elliot says that manual labor is beneath him. Instead, he spends most of his time online playing video games and reading anti-women content. And on some of these anti-women websites, he discusses his beliefs that women shouldn't have any rights and that they shouldn't be allowed to choose who to mate with. But one day, that same year, he ends up watching a movie called Alpha Dog. And in this movie, there are teenagers partying and smashing and stuff like that. But these characters are living exactly the kind of life that Elliot wants to live. And in this movie, the story happens to take place in Santa Barbara, California. So he starts to believe that if he can just move there, he'll also be able to live this crazy life of partying and smashing. So he goes and he talks with his parents, and he tells them that he wants to go to college in Santa Barbara. And his parents, they're wealthy, and they give him pretty much anything he wants. So they say, aye. And they also agree to keep paying all his bills, and they give him an allowance while he lives in this wealthy college town. So Elliot moves to Santa Barbara, into an apartment with a couple of roommates, and he enrolls in college. And on the first day of class, he gets ready and he puts on an Armani shirt and Gucci sunglasses, and he thinks to himself, I am the image of beauty and supremacy. It's actually a direct quote from him. And then he waits until everyone else in class is seated so that he can make this grand entrance. And so then he walks in and he's expecting all of them to stare at him. But of course, no one notices him at all. And he gets all mad. Later, he notices a pretty girl in one of his classes and he starts stalking her online. And when he finds out she has a boyfriend, he flips the fuck out. And he's screaming and crying and he drops all of his classes in a rage. This guy also spends his time going to Starbucks where he like sits and waits for women to approach him. Like he expects an attractive girl to just come up to him and say, "Oh my God, you're so fine, let's go smash." And when this doesn't obviously happen, he just gets more upset. And if you don't believe me, he confesses a lot of this stuff in the YouTube videos he posts.
I've been doing a lot of thinking about how sad and unfair my life has been, all because girls haven't been attracted to me. I mean, you give a chance to all these stupid, obnoxious guys that I see you walking with, but you don't give a chance to me. Why not? I'm such a magnificent guy. I'm beautiful. You can't deny that. Why do you girls give those guys a chance, but not me? I deserve it more.
So yeah, you can see all this entitlement he has. Like, he thinks he's entitled to women. He even gets all jealous and angry when he's like out and about and he sees a happy couple.
I'm so angry right now. I was enjoying a peaceful time at this beach park, and what comes to sit in front of me? A young couple, a guy with his hot girlfriend. I mean, who do they think they are? Coming here, sitting in front of me to make me feel jealous? This is the reason why I hate the world.
And so, as time goes on, his feelings about all of this only get worse. Because one day, that same year, he's sitting at a Starbucks when he sees a young couple hanging out and like kissing, I guess. And this upsets him, it pisses him off so much that boom, he throws coffee on them. Another time, he sees a group of guys and girls all playing kickball in the park. And he gets so mad at them just for having fun that he starts screaming insults at them and he's like spraying them with a super soaker filled with orange juice. And the weird thing is, he thinks these acts are retaliation for people not recognizing his superiority, for girls not wanting to sleep with him, and for other guys getting laid while he never gets laid. In fact, he actually wishes he could do more to hurt them. So he goes and he starts buying and collecting weapons like knives and handguns and stuff. But before he uses any of that stuff on anyone, he decides to give losing his virginity one last try. So one night in 2013, he gets super drunk by himself and then he decides to go crash a local house party. So he walks into this party. And of course, he doesn't try to socialize or like try to talk to anyone or anything like that. No. He just sits by himself and he sulks and he gets super offended when no girls approach him. Then at one point, he's out on like a one-story makeshift balcony that the house has, and he sees some guys and girls talking and having fun. And this pisses him off. And suddenly, pow, he tries to push some of the girls off the ledge. And of course, the guys, they're not gonna put up with this. So they push Elliot off the ledge instead, and bam, he hits the ground and he shatters his ankle. So he's all hurt and he's stumbling away when he realizes, hey, someone stole my Gucci sunglasses. So he hobbles back to the party to get them back, but he's so drunk that he goes to the wrong house, which I think is also full of college kids. And while he's there, he's like screaming at these random people in this house, "You stole my Gucci sunglasses, I'm gonna kill you all." And so the people there, they just straight up beat the shit out of him. And so instead of losing his virginity that night, Elliot ends up in the hospital. Now, I feel like it's important to say that Elliot's parents recognize that he's having some problems, and so they try and help him out. Like his mom gets him a new BMW to make him feel better. They also try to get him professional help, like they set him up with tons of therapists and counselors, but he doesn't seem to take any of it seriously. At one point, his dad even has a family friend try to talk to him and teach him how to speak with women. And the guy says, "Have you tried like being nice to girls? How about starting a conversation by complimenting them?" And of course, Elliot is like, "Why do I have to compliment them? Why don't they compliment me?" So, I mean, yeah, even with all this guy's failures, he continues to insist that he's like this perfect alpha male and that all his problems are because women are just too stupid to be attracted to him and therefore he's going to die a virgin. So anyway, by this point, it's 2014 and Elliot is 22 years old now. But here's where the story gets dark. And so by now, Elliot has decided that women not sleeping with him is essentially a declaration of war against him, and he wants to get revenge. So he posts one last video on YouTube.
Now I'll punish all of you for the crime of having a better life than me. While I've had to rot in loneliness, you've had your sex and your parties and your pleasure, your laughter and your fun. And I'm gonna take that all away from you. Just like you took it from me.
And from here, I won't get into detail, but Elliot goes on a murderous rampage. So he goes and he stabs his roommates and his roommate's friend just for being in the way. Then he drives around looking for pretty sorority girls, and when he sees some, blam, blam, he starts blasting at them as he drives by. Then he races through the streets, mowing people down with his car and shooting into random buildings. And tragically, he takes the lives of 6 people and he seriously injures 14 other people. And ultimately, he gets into a shootout with police, and when they have him surrounded, he